Bristlenose breeding, care and tips. Everything you need to know about Ancestris bristlenose. The ideal water temperature is between 25 to 28 degrees. The pH range should be kept between 6.8 to 7.8. Bristlenose are very popular and easy to keep and breed. They come in a range of different types and colors. They are great tank cleaners as they love to eat algae as part of their diet. They are generally placid so they can be kept with most other freshwater fish. Make sure your filter is cycled properly. A new filter can take on average 4 to 8 weeks to finish its cycle. This is very important as most fish will not survive the cycle. When cleaning out your filter, only use water from the fish tank to rinse the media. If you use tap water or replace the media, it will kill the good bacteria growing in the filter and start the cycle over again, which will result in fish deaths. Fill the tank with plenty of driftwood, plants, logs, caves and hiding spots. The driftwood provides cover, releases tannins which bristlenose love and is an important part of their diet, especially for fry. Once mature, the males are easily distinguished by the bristles on their head which get larger with age. The females generally don't develop any bristles. Some types, for example peppermint bristlenose, may grow some around her lip but never up over the nose. Once mature, the male will start to spend all his time in a log, constantly cleaning it and fanning it, getting ready for eggs. If there are multiple males in the same tank, they will start to fight as they become adults. It is best to separate them. A good breeding tip is to give them plenty of choice for logs, lots of different size and shapes, and the male will pick which one he likes. Every male is different, so a variety is necessary when breeding. If you time it right and do a cool water change and drop the tank temperature a few degrees when a storm is approaching, it can help trigger them to spawn. This is when they would naturally breed in the wild. Once the conditions are right and the fish are ready, the magic happens. The female will push her way into the log and the male will trap her in so she can lay her eggs. She may go in and out of the log multiple times and sometimes can take a few days, especially if it's their first time breeding. Once she has laid the eggs, her job is done. The male takes care of the rest. He will fertilize the eggs, guard them, keep them clean and constantly fan water over them until they are hatched. Inexperienced males can sometimes kick some or all of the eggs out. If any nice yellow-colored eggs are kicked out, put them into an egg tumbler so they have good water flow over them. Any white eggs are dead and need to be removed or they will kill the good ones. Adding a cherry shrimp or two is beneficial as they will keep the eggs clean and healthy. Cherry shrimp are great tank mates with bristlenose, especially with fry. They break down any uneaten food, keep eggs clean and healthy, and if you have some moss and plants, the shrimp will thrive and breed as well. Plumbing multiple tanks together is a great idea if you have the room. All new fish must be quarantined first so they do not introduce any diseases or problems to the system. Make sure the filter is large enough to handle all the fish. Lots of bristlenose will produce a high amount of waste, so good filtration and lots of water changes is essential. Doing this means you only need one return pump to filter all the tanks, and you can put the heaters in the sump to eliminate the risk of heater burn on the fish. Each female can lay between 50 to 200 eggs at a time and can lay every 4 to 5 weeks, so you will need to make sure you have enough room to grow all the fry. The male usually won't leave the eggs to eat for a week or two, so when the fry have left the cave, he needs to be separated from the females so he can have a good feed and rest before breeding again. It's a good idea to have a spare male or two to rotate around so they get a good break and feed between each batch of eggs. The eggs will start to hatch and become wrigglers after 4 to 5 days. They then spend the next few days absorbing their egg sac. When it is finished, they will start to come out of the log to look for food. You may need to put the new fry into a fry saver container or hang-on style breeding box so they don't get sucked into the filter or become eaten by other fish. They will need driftwood, water flow, oxygen and constant food to survive. Doing this can have a higher survival rate as you can target feed the fry and they don't have to compete with the adults for food. Once they are big enough and feeding well, they can be moved to their own grow-out tank. Use the same water so they don't die from shock. Being so small, they do not cope as well with changing water like the adults. They will need constant food to survive. They can be fed a wide range of peeled raw or blanched vegetables. Most of them will make the water cloudy if it is left in the tank for too long, so it should be replaced every 24 hours. My favorite vegetables to use are sweet potato, zucchini, pumpkin and button mushrooms. All of them I use raw. Just peel the skin, slice it and weigh it down with a fork or veggie clip. As well as veggies, they need to be fed broken or ground up algae wafers. I also grind some flakes in with the wafers. They need to be fed this at least twice a day when they are young to ensure a high survival rate. Give them a variety of soft and hard driftwood. It is essential for their diet and gives them somewhere to hide. Bristlenose are nocturnal, so they are more active and feed at night, but when they are young they are generally active during the day as well. I use bare bottom tanks so it is easy to vacuum clean any waste. Bristlenose aren't fussy and can be kept in tanks with sand or rocks depending on your preference. No matter the size or type of filter you are using, you should also add some air-powered sponge filters. They provide mechanical filtration, and can lead to a better population of beneficial bacteria in your aquarium, also providing the aquarium with water flow and oxygen at the same time. Talk to the local fish shops around the area before breeding them to make sure you will have someone to sell the fry to, otherwise you will end up overstocked and your tanks will become overpopulated. Generally you will sell fish for a higher price through private sales, but sales are slower. Fish shops will pay less but buy in bulk, so it all depends how much tank space and spare time you have to work out which is better for you. Bristlenose originate from South America and usually inhabit fast-flowing parts of the Amazon River, so when setting up your tank ensure they will have good water flow and oxygen so it feels more natural and comfortable for them. Lighting is not overly important for bristlenose as long as they get some natural light. In the wild they are bottom feeders in the rivers. I have found they are happier and less stressed in low-lit rooms. When they are not disturbed and not stressed they breed more often and generally stay happier and healthier. If you choose to have bare bottom tanks, you can still have nice-looking plants by attaching some anubias to your driftwood. They will keep growing and the bristlenose won't shred the leaves. If you have a lot of new driftwood, the tannins will turn your water brown, which is not a problem for the bristlenose. They actually prefer it like this as it is more natural. If you have a display tank though and want crystal clear water, add some Porogen bags into your filter. Each bag treats 400 liters and will clear it up in a few hours. When putting a new fish in your tank, use an airline with a control valve so the water drips into the bag or bucket. Let it drip. Acclimatize for an hour so the fish adjusts to the new water slowly without being shocked. This is the least stressful way for the fish, which is especially important for fry and shrimp. Make sure the temperature is the same as the tank before you put the new fish in. Gently pour the fish into a net, then release it into the tank so you don't cross-contaminate tank waters. If there is any problems with the water from the fish shop, you don't want to introduce that into your quarantine tank. Thanks for watching. I hope you have learned something new and continue to love keeping bristlenose as much as I do. Please check out my channel and subscribe for more videos.